Hello, everybody. I'm the Gnarly Gnome. This is the Weekly Pint. It's not really a show, but if it was, I don't know. If it was, you'd be in the right place. Welcome back to another week. It has been an exciting week. I was supposed to be recording an episode of Cincy Brewcast tonight, and then rushing back home to make this happen, but I'm not, and we'll get into why in just a little bit. In the meantime, jump on the chat and tell me what you're drinking. You can watch this either via Facebook or YouTube. Either way, I get your messages, so feel free to jump in. Since I was supposed to be at 16 Lots drinking some beer and recording a show tonight, we're still going to drink the beer. We're going to go Mid-Century Lager, the Steinman. I was joking online that I don't know what a mid-century lager is because it is a term that Del Hall over at 16 Lots created for this beer. It is it's a beer. It's a beer. Just a good easy drinking lager from what I understand. 5%, 22 IBUs. The label says this lager harkens back to the days when beer was beer. This is the kind of beer that in the not too distant past you might see in the hands of Madison Avenue men or adults grilling in the backyard while the kids played jarts. The artwork is very mid-century modern and fun. If you want to join in the conversation, you are always allowed to join in the conversation. That's kind of half of the point of this, is that we all kind of hang out and talk together. But you can call into the number right there. 56770 drink, and you can take part in the show as long as I have the phone lines up, which I do. So let's dive into this. So why am I not out and about recording a show today? COVID has finally struck the Gnome household. I won't go into who gave it to us or who we think gave it to us because, we won't. But my wife got it first. She is just right now starting to get over it. We don't know if anybody else has it. I will be heading to go get a test tomorrow to see if I've got it. In the meantime, we are on lockdown. We are all locked in the house with each other, enjoying each other's company, and I'm waiting until we get through the danger zone, I guess. So just beer on and relax. Absolutely. So I'm off work. Obviously, so far everybody is doing fine. I have a couple little symptoms. I was joking with the doctor when I was talking to him today about it that, I'm a little tired. I have a headache, some muscle aches, and I'm like, but at the same time, that's all the same shit that I always have. That's the stuff that the kids give me anyways, like in my normal life. So I don't know that that's really considered a symptom. As far as the kids, a little bit of stuffy noses going around. Marco was right about the cough all along. It was just slowly developing. The kids have had some stuffy noses going on, but that's also kind of normal this time of year. So who knows? My youngest has a little bit of an ear infection now from it, but he's a trooper. He's a happy little baby. So we're fine. As of right now, we're fine. We're getting through it. Okay. There's a lot of people that are, that get this and don't do as well as we have, so we'll be okay. But we got to get through this. So with that being said, obviously this week's Brewcast at 16 Lots, I offered them up to do it remotely. We decided that it'd be more fun to just wait a few weeks and do it on location. The next... depending on how all of this plays out, it's really, really complicated. Trying to figure out quarantine dates and how that works when somebody in your house has tested positive, other people haven't, but you're still in contact with each other. We're not not locking my wife in the basement or something and taking care of the kids by myself. We're all stuck together. So it gets really complicated trying to figure out the dates and stuff for everything. But the next couple to few weeks, the shows will all be remote. I don't know where exactly that will shift. Somewhere around Christmas time, things will go back to normal, hopefully. Well, normal-ish. That's that time of year where things are already not normal as far as trying to plan shows and everything. So that's what's going on with me in my personal life. But if things seem weird the next few weeks, that's why. But I will say the plus side of it is that I'm not going to be working, so I get to drink more beer. So my goal is in the next 2 weeks to drink a couple things out of the cellar, start making some room for some new beer. So obviously Dark Charge Day is coming up. It's quickly approaching, and I have a full set of Dark Charge bottles that are going to need to have a home in here. On top of that, family tradition from Sonder. I think they announced 5 bottles. I'm hoping I can snag all of those. It's an online sale, so I don't know why I wouldn't be able to. There's just lots of stuff coming out that need a home. So gotta drink some of the Cellar. Although I've got space in there. Especially, I don't know if you guys were paying attention. I don't know how many of you guys are as into the gnome, but I just redid the beer cellar. So back there where that red light is where the beer cellar is in my studio. And it used to be, I had these little janky shelves built back there that would hold I don't know, maybe 3 cases of beer, something like that, just very inefficiently planned out. Whereas now I rebuilt all of that shelving, and I can probably fit, I don't know, 4 times that. So there's a lot of space back there for beer. So got to fill that up. Craig is excited about the habanero cinnamon. There's quite a few. I didn't actually look at the full list closely. Let's see. Sonder Brewing. All right. They say our biggest stout release ever happens this Friday. Family Tradition Imperial Stout goes live online at 8 a.m. with 5 delicious variants. They have a Willet Rye, French Ruby Port. I'm curious about that one. Macadamia, Bananas Foster, and Cinnamon Habanero. I'm not a big fan of spicy beers typically. That's one that I might let sit for a while just to see what happens to it. But the Ruby Port I am definitely curious about. Bananas Foster I'm curious about just to compare it to what Dark Charge was like last year. It was such a great beer, so curious to see what they do with it. Macadamia obviously sounds delicious. They all sound pretty freaking good to me. Bottles range from $13 to $18, something like that, for 500 milliliter bottles. So it's a little bit steep, but I will definitely, still jump on that. 14% ABV. Tell you what, that I'm excited to try them. I know that this release, this idea of this family tradition, has been something that the brewery has been really, really pumped about doing since they opened their doors, and timing just hasn't quite worked out each time yet. And then this year, obviously, COVID hits and ruins it a little bit again. So they're getting there to creating this into what they want it to be. It's going to be fun. I need to drink this beer. I haven't tried it yet. Has anybody else had this yet? I believe this one just got canned today, if I'm right about that. I know the Beast, their Imperial IPA, also got canned today, and I have some of that in the fridge too, but I figured this time of night a lager was going to hit the spot a little better for me. Craig says he made a fruitcake Imperial Stout, but likely not Sonder worthy. I like the idea, though. I think that's fun. How many of you guys are home brewers? I know that I've talked a lot on different shows about how I just kind of not gave up home brewing. I'll jump back to another topic on there in just a second, but not that I gave up home brewing. I just don't necessarily have the desire to homebrew the way I used to. I think that, and this is a very common kind of thing that I've heard from other people too, that there is enough great breweries around now that I just don't feel the need to homebrew anymore. So I just don't have that desire to run out there and try to make beer. Marco says over on YouTube, the chat there, he says he has no time since he started at Cellar Dweller. And then over on Facebook, the Northeast Ohio Craft Brewery News. Craig, Vernon, Brad Plank says former. Matt Damaris only once so far. It's fun, and I, in the breath right after, my kids complain that the garage smells awful like a brewery when I homebrew. Makes me proud. I love that smell. I will always love that smell. As much as, in one breath I'll say that there's not a huge need to homebrew anymore with how much great beer there is around us, I also think it's really important for craft beer fans to homebrew from time to time, just to kind of give them a connection to the process and to what we're all so obsessed about, but also maybe to teach you a little bit more about some different styles and stuff like that. The best smell, it really is. All right, let me dive into this beer here. It's kind of a darker lager. It's not. I was anticipating like a really light kind of, American light lager, but this is more Vienna lager looking. Oh, it's delicious. Yeah, that's really good. It is kind of Vienna lager is where I would put it. Malty, not super sweet, but definitely has that sweet kind of malt backbone to it. Really, really good. That's that's good. I will take that all day, every day. Craig says a chocolate vanilla hazelnut porter will be ready next Monday. That's perfect. Perfect season for that too. See, when I was homebrewing, I never got too crazy with, what I was making. I stuck to, other people's recipes, kits, things like that. And, just stuck to kind of normal, traditional kind of styles. The craziest I got with one would be, I did a, vanilla Java porter. It was good. It was actually really good. I've probably talked about this, so forgive me if you've heard the story, but it was a beer that I brewed it and it was good, but then not as good as I wanted it to be. It was a little disappointing. So I stashed them all away, and then every few months I would grab another bottle and crack it open and just see what was happening with it. And it was always just okay. It got a little bit better, but just wasn't hitting what I wanted it to taste like until the very last bottle. And I opened up that last bottle, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And it finally hit that peak where I wanted it to be. And it was the last bottle, so it was simultaneously like incredibly pleasing and then incredibly disappointing at the same time, because I had already drank it all. I did, before I forget, thought about this a minute ago when I was talking. When we were cleaning out, you guys can't tell how much work has gone on in the studio here because you can't see the whole room, but this whole wall over here has been redone in the last couple weeks. So we had to pull everything out, and there was a ton of stuff over there. There still is a ton of stuff over there, but much better organized now. We pulled all that out, and tucked away in the bottom was not a full case, but a case of bottles, and there were four bombers of my very last home brew that we ever made, and we brewed that, I think, right after we moved into this house. So that was like 2012 maybe. So it's got some age on it. So not only am I not a great brewer, it was I believe when we brewed it was a Dunkelweizen maybe. So a dark wheat beer, not something you would typically stash away for 8 years. But so it had already, well before now, taken on a nice green apple character. Julia says I need to post studio before and after and in progress pics to Instagram, Facebook, or wherever so that you guys can see all of the changes I keep talking about. It's really not that exciting. Like, it's when I talk about the exciting wall, that's all it is right now, is curtains hanging up over shelves. Oh, I don't know if I just killed my stream. Hang on. This is what happens when I try to do stuff. Hang on here, guys. I definitely killed my monitor. Hopefully that's all that's down. Craig says, holiday-themed beers are brewing here at the Fermented Firefly, my house. I like that. There we go. Nope, stream's still going. Sorry about that, guys. See, this is why I'm not supposed to touch things while I'm doing this. I have this little tiny short cord that connects the laptop to everything, really, to the mixer, to the internet, to the other monitor. I think that's it right now. That's hooked up to it, but yeah, I will. I'll take some pictures maybe for you if people are curious. Maybe I'll put them on Patreon just for those of you who are patrons. I need to be better about getting some stuff up on Patreon. I've got this whole outline planned of some stuff that I'm going to shift around on Patreon, and I just haven't had the time to sit and do it. Maybe that's what I'll do during my quarantine. It'll be one of the things that I tackle. Although it also it's, you think that being home for a couple weeks and not having to go to work is going to make things easier to get stuff done. It doesn't. You just get sucked into to taking care of kids all day, to wiping butts. Brad says that they're canning their Unga Spundit, is that right? Lager tomorrow. The collaboration with Woolly Pig Farm Brewery. The beer is Ooh-Ah, is that right? Or Ah-Oo? Ooh-Ah? No, you order it as Ah-Oo when you go to Germany, but the beer is Ooh-Ah. I'm dying to try that one too. And now that's even harder now that I'm locked in the house. I can't just run out and grab something like that. I'm afraid it's going to sell out before I get my hands on it. But Ooh-Ah. It is a lager, an easy drinking lager that is carbed a little lower, makes it a little easier to drink. They go down easier, and maybe you can pick out some of the flavors more. I'm not super familiar with the style at all, and it has definitely inspired me to dive in a little bit. I want to spend more time on stuff like that and get some stuff, if not up on the website, maybe up on YouTube and stuff about beer styles and some of those different kind of off the wall stuff that we're not as familiar with. I've heard nothing but amazing things about Woolly Pig. I remember when I think the first time I had heard somebody talk about it was Betty and Bob over at Fibonacci. I think they took a trip up there and were just all about it because there's not a lot of places like that, obviously. So she told me that I had to get up there. And then I can't remember. There was somebody else very, very quickly after that I think made a trip up there and kind of the same thing. Told me that I had to go up there and see what they were doing. I love places that do things a little different and kind of define their own personality that way. Do you guys like my my glass choice tonight for the mid-century lager? Mm-hmm. That is good. So yeah, to everybody, tell me what you've been up to. Is everybody jumping on the Dark Charge bandwagon this year and trying to order all of the bottles? I'm curious to kind of see how that is that's working for everybody else. Asking the important question here, are you allowed to pet the pigs? I can only assume that you are. It would seem a little crazy for me to not be able to. It's not really a chalice. It's like a big Pilsner glass. It's like a big giant, it's a Polliner Pilsner glass. My dad, when I was growing up, was not a big beer drinker. He would have a Stroh's every once in a while, but it was kind of few and far between. But he had a beer glass that he drank it out of, this special Pilsner glass that was kind of this shape that he would dig out of the back of the cabinets and pull it out and pour his beer in and sit there and drink it. And there's something about that glass shape with a Pilsner. This is definitely not a Pilsner. This is way darker than... if I was repicking my glassware now, I think I would go with a Stein just because of what the beer is like. Julia says she's trying to quit her job, so buying beer isn't at the top of my list at the moment. Well, I can understand that. We'll put it that way. So yeah, this glass style is very nostalgic for me. I really like the beer though. Anyways, back to Dark Charge. I'm curious if anybody is jumping on and trying to order those bottles and how that's been going. I know they're selling out fairly quickly. And so I don't know if people are enjoying being able to get on and buy the bottles without having to line up, or if you're kind of disappointed that you can't just get there early, get in line, and get everything you wanted. I'm excited for this year's release. This whole online beer release thing. It's fun on one hand, because it does make it easier for some people to get beers, but this time of year, there's a lot of those events that are about the release. Be it Dark Charge or Black Friday, going to snag bottles from places, and it's just, to lose that whole thing is just so weird. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think they've finished announcing all of the bottles yet. I know that I don't even know if I'm supposed to say how many more, but there's a few more. The ones that are remaining are all, I think the ones I'm most excited about, I think. What else has been new? I finally dug into, Dark Charge needs to make it up to Central Ohio. That's part of the fun of Dark Charge. It doesn't make it up anywhere. It doesn't leave doesn't leave the tap room. You know, you have to be there for Dark Charge Day to get the beer. That's part of what makes it what it is. I assume at some point in, you know, Braxton's story, you'll see it change where it'll be in a store somewhere. Maybe not, you know, all of them, but like a variant will just make it out into the wild, and that's where you have to get it, which will be fun, but it definitely would change things. Marco says if he was trying to quit his job, buying beer would be at the top of his list. And he's finally out of work, having a truth. Chris says he had a great experience at Narrow Path and Common Friday night. The Bruised Traveler, though, at Narrow Path. Yes. I still have never tried the Bruised Traveler there. I hate to say it, because I know I'm going to get in trouble for it. The last time I was at Narrow Path, it was like a last stop of the night, I think. I can't remember what I ended up snagging, but Julia wants to know, do you think they will ever release special Dark Charge variants at their other tap rooms, or maybe part of a Dark Charge weekend and not just one day? I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe that was kind of what the idea was originally going to be this year, was that they were going to try to do different bottles at each tap room, and that just didn't work. Last stop equals blackout. I've never blacked out from drinking. I you know, all right, how can I put this to? So I know that I talk a lot about drinking and drinking a lot, and drinking is extremely important to me. However, getting drunk most of the time is the last thing that I want to do. I usually spend a lot of time trying to make sure that I do not get drunk. I invest a lot of time and effort before I drink to make sure that I'm going to, you know, not that, you know, to try to curb the effects of alcohol as much as possible. So no, I've never blacked out. I have no intentions of blacking out from alcohol. Justin says he hopes not. That's the fun of it. Keep it at the brewery. I feel the same way. I'm a little bit torn though. Like there would be something fun about just like one special variant that heads out into the wild, and that's where you have to get that one. Maybe at just, you know, some local places, but I don't know. I don't know. I do like that you have to go to the brewery to get it. That is part of what makes it special. Let's see. I'm catching up on everybody's comments here. Could try that this week. Blacking out. No, thank you, Marco. I don't want to black out if that's what you're referring to. Julia says that she made it to Narrow Path finally the other day. Everything was delicious. Drinking a crowler of their oatmeal Imperial Stout right now. I also brought home some of their salted caramel amber and the New England IPA and the Tire Patch. If they still have bottles of their two bottles in the tap room, I cannot recommend those enough for people. There's some, they're wild fermented, so they took the skin of, I don't know, what was it, apricots or something. They're two different fruits. I can't remember what they were off the top of my head. I'd have to pull the bottles out and look, but they used those in like a farmhouse kind of ale, and then let the wild yeast that was on the skin of the fruit kind of re-ferment it, I guess. So they're sour beers and just really, really, really phenomenal stuff. So if they still have those, whenever anybody's in the tap room, buy them. Like in a heartbeat, just grab them, buy them, buy as much as they'll let you buy, and drink some and stash some away because it's really, really good stuff. I got a chance this afternoon to record a couple upcoming episodes of Prost. One of them I did a Warped Wing beer, just a nice easy drinker. And the second one, though, was one that I've been waiting till the right day to record. A beer that I'd never had before, and it was Urban Artifacts Pink from their top secret fruited sour series, whatever they're calling it, which I think we're finally going to start seeing kind of where that is going soon, if I remember right. Those beers are nuts if you guys haven't had them. They are... I mean, beer is used very loosely in the definition of what these things are. It's literally 49% of what is in there is fruit, and then 51% beer. It's a ton of fruit. More fruit than they've used in anything else. And it shows. And they had this whole big kind of rollout plan for this series in the spring, when obviously everything kind of changed and this COVID shit hit. So it didn't really happen the way that they thought it was going to happen. But in the meantime, they've still put out a few of them in 16-ounce cans. They're 14% ABV and just these big, massive fruit beers. So I was wanting to get one on Prost at some point. It goes back to that idea, though, of with a beer like that is not in stores right now. I don't know when it's going to be in the stores again. What is the value of having it on a YouTube channel so people can hear about it and get excited about it and then realize that it's not available? It doesn't serve kind of the same purpose as, putting something like this on there. Yes, like Blue. They've done 3 of them so far. Sorry. Facebook comments versus YouTube comments. I will fix that one of these days, and I'll get both of the chats to kind of come together just in the live stream. You'll be able to see them on the screen. But so far they've done Blue was the first one. That was the very first release that was just about to actually come out. And then COVID shut everything down, so they put it in crowlers and just sold crowlers of a 14% beer. It was really good. It was really expensive. I can't remember how expensive those crowlers were. I want to say they were $30-something, but yeah, really, really good stuff. And then after that, they did Red, and then which I did. I drank Red on a vlog, I think. And then the latest one was Pink, which tasted like Starburst, like a big, giant, tart, alcoholic Starburst. So good. I think it was strawberries is the fruit that I'm guessing I was tasting. $26. That sounds about right. Yeah, I'm excited to finally see that series turn into what I think what it's supposed to. So keep your eyes open for that. I do have I think every year since at least the last 3 years or so, at Christmas time I do a Christmas beer show with Brett from Urban. That's coming up too. It was scheduled for, when were we going to do that? It was scheduled for next week. So obviously that is not going to happen next week. So that's getting bumped. It'll still happen before Christmas, but I just don't quite know when yet. That's one of those shows that we can't really do over Zoom or anything. It doesn't quite have the same effect. We need to be in the same place drinking beer together. So, but that's going to happen. That's coming up. I have Ohio Craft Brewers Association show coming up. We'll talk about everything you expect us to talk about with that. Sounds phenomenal. I couldn't justify the price point and couldn't imagine drinking 32 ounces of 15% beer myself. That was my problem, is that some of these, even at 16 ounces, if it's 15%, most evenings, like I don't want to dive into 16 ounces of a 15% beer. Most evenings. Some evenings it is A-okay. The last couple evenings, it has been fine. So I did that one today, like in the afternoon. And then yesterday, I know I drank the Milk and Cookies Demogorgon. I had a couple double Midwest fruit tarts. So those are, 10%-ish. So I had a couple 10%ers, a few 10%ers in 16-ounce cans. So, when you're not going to work, you don't have to think about things the same way. You don't have to worry about getting up the same way in the morning. Although this morning I did still get up at the same time and still, kept to my work hours. Probably will tomorrow too. Honestly, I'll probably keep my work hours the whole time to try to get some gnome work in the morning, depending on how my work works out. Actually, that's still not all figured out. I won't go into all the details, but just know I'm not leaving my house because we don't do that. Marco wants to know if the Rona changed your Thanksgiving plans as far as food and drink, or is it party on? It has sort of changed plans, but not really. So all of our big Thanksgiving stuff had already been canceled. We had already decided we're not doing any big kind of dinners. I think we were still planning on doing a small dinner here at our house on maybe that weekend or something, this coming weekend. I don't know. And then we were going to go. We have our small little bubble that we have been hanging out with, I guess. So that includes like my brother and sister-in-law and my in-laws, my mother and father-in-law, because they're our childcare when we're at work. And we were going to do a small dinner just with that group, and that has now been canceled. Well, it hasn't been canceled as far. I don't know if it's canceled. I don't know what they're all doing, but I don't know that we are going to do it. I haven't actually talked to my wife though. I don't know if we're just gonna get like a little tiny turkey. Can you get a little tiny turkey and just cook it for my little family? I feel like we should make something. Maybe we'll have lunch meat sandwiches. Turkey. I don't know. I guess we should probably talk about that one of these nights and figure out what's going on. It's the boys' first Thanksgiving. Not that he can eat the food, but I feel like it would be kind of cheating him if he didn't get to experience Thanksgiving. I also enjoy Thanksgiving, whatever day you do your Thanksgiving dinner. I know for families now it's always goofy trying to make your rounds. But my day that I'm cooking, I get up early and, everybody else is asleep still. You get the turkey going. I smoke our turkey, so you're sitting outside by the smoker, drinking early, smoking a cigar. I enjoy that thing. And then, 8 o'clock hits or whatever, you're watching the parade. And I don't know. I love Thanksgiving as a holiday. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays, easily. And then football all day long. I just love it. But yes, if that answers your question, Marco, I enjoy my turkey. Smoked, I believe, is my favorite. Although I would like to try deep fried turkey one of these years. I just have never quite never done it. With a smoker, to me, I've never craved something else. Howdy, Kirk. How are you? So yeah, we're smoking. If we do a turkey, we'll smoke it. We'll probably do if we do something, we'll do a little one of those old turkey breast loaf things. And hey, then it'll only take me an hour or so to cook it. Marco says that he will have to have me over for one, and I'm all about that. Here's the bigger question. At your Thanksgiving table, what do you guys drink? Are you drinking beer? Do you drink wine? Are you, what are you drinking? Because I feel like pairing with Thanksgiving dinner is always difficult, especially depending on what sides people bring. It's hard to find one thing that kind of works with everything. I have fried turkeys for over 20 years. I've always been a little terrified of deep frying a turkey. I don't want to burn the neighborhood down. Although it'd be exciting. And very fitting for 2020, right? The last couple years, kind of what I've done is, Jeff says that vodka cranberry is usually his go-to at Thanksgiving. Vernon says he's slumming it with the family with High Life. I had a High Life for the first time in a long time. It's been, I don't know, a few weeks maybe. I happened to be at a bar somewhere. I can't remember why, but it was not the type of bar where you're grabbing a craft beer. And so I got a High Life. And I was as disappointed as I remembered being. I will take things like garage beer or Hootie or, any one of your kind of, Cheetah, any one of those local light lagers over High Life any day. Marco says that they supply as much drink diversity as possible. That's been my technique the last couple years. I literally just fill the table with as many different types of alcohol as I can possibly think of. We put out the whiskey, we open up a couple bottles of wine, and then several different beer styles. We've got light lagers, we've got Saison, I like some big dark stouts, everything, just to hopefully hit all of those points that you want to. Julia says that Thanksgiving is a BYOB of whatever I need to start clearing out of the fridge to make room for more. That's a good technique, too. It's that time of year, too, where you just kind of want to drink through all that stuff that's been kind of hanging out in there for a little while. Pull some of the stuff out of the cellar that's been sitting there for a little while. I love, in normal times, in the before times, when you could actually have people over for holidays. That was part of what I enjoyed so much about it, was that you get to drink some of the stuff that you've been sitting on that you were kind of like, oh, I just, it's not a special occasion. I don't want to open this bottle. I wait for a different day. And that was, the holidays provide those different days, be it Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all of that right together there is just, it's drinking holidays. Times to get together with people and just hang out and drink and laugh and to be merry. At least it's supposed to. This year is going to be strange. The whole holiday season is going to be strange. Yes, Thanksgiving is definitely like a gathering family holiday. But Christmas is going to be real strange because, we usually get together with so many people. New Year's is going to be really strange because, although hopefully we'll be able to still go somewhere for New Year's, somebody's house. Beer is meant to be shared. 100%. I cannot agree with that more. Marco wants to know, what do you snack on during the smoking of the bird? Do you make a meat and cheese board or snack on White Castle? No, I usually, it depends how long it's going to take. I'm always nibbling on whatever I'm cooking while I'm cooking it, so I'm tearing chunks of the turkey off while I cook it, honestly. Sometimes I will throw something smaller on the smoker at the same time so that finishes first, and then I can sit and eat it while I'm still smoking. Usually. Some years our Thanksgiving is just so hectic trying to get to the places we need to get to that it's a little different. But it's what I'll miss the most this year is gathering, sharing good food, and especially good beer. Yeah, I'm such a social person. I like hanging out with people and drinking. That's my favorite part about drinking is just sitting around other people. Even if it's like one of those nights where you're at one of those dive bars where you're just there to be there. Like the stuff happening around you to me is important and a huge part of my enjoyment of this, bar culture and drinking culture. So losing all of that has been just miserable, and coming into this time of year, it's just not going to be fun. I mean, this time of year will be fun. There will be plenty of fun things about it, especially, I've got kids that can kind of provide plenty of fun when it comes to the holidays, but we're going to miss a big chunk of this year. But it will be fun. My 3-year-old has I think the biggest Christmas list I've ever seen a kid put together. But even that, to not go and be able to sit on Santa's lap and tell him what you want is just strange to me. We're doing a Zoom call with Santa, I think. We have some kind of digital Santa call that we set up. So she's going to Zoom Santa and tell him what she wants for Christmas. I don't know. How did we end up in this position? How did we do this to ourselves? Yeah, we'll get through it. We'll survive. Marco says we'll do our best, but it's not like any other year. No, it's I'm curious if I know some of you guys have kids that are older that'll definitely remember all of this, but like my 3-year-old, I wonder if she'll look back and remember this weird year where the holidays were strange, I don't know. It's one part of it is extremely sad when I look at their perspective of it, but then at the same time, it's a crazy little memory in their life. Just be glad little Nomad doesn't have access to a Sears catalog we used to build our list from. We've gotten, I think, 1 or 2, like, not catalogs to the extent that we had when we were kids, but I think, I want to say it was Meijer or Walmart or somebody sent a pretty good toy catalog out, and she got so freaking excited about it. And seeing that excitement of her, like, seeing this book just all of toys, was fun and kind of brought back those memories too. She wanted every single thing in it, and so I don't know how I'm supposed to figure that out. Marco says, "Get the hell out of here." Santa does Zoom? Absolutely, Santa does Zoom. I think he booked it with us through Sam's Club. Go figure that one. Santa is also immune to COVID. He has Santa bodies. Oh, Lord. I did hear, didn't Fauci say that it was okay? Santa was immune to COVID. My kids went to Disney when they were 3. They don't remember it at all. 2020, like that. Yeah. That's what I'm assuming, is that they won't remember any of this. I heard somebody talk about that a little bit, though. Maybe it was on a Disney commercial, actually. They were talking about, when you take your kids to Disney when they're that little, and you always worry that they're not going to remember it, that they won't. But part of it is you remembering them in that, you get those memories of them experiencing it. And that's just as valuable as them remembering it. For me, even more valuable. So I don't know. Yeah, Fauci said Santa was immune. It makes sense. However, he said that, and yet every Santa that I've seen, like on TV or anywhere, they're all wearing masks. So why is Santa wearing a mask if Santa's immune with his Santa bodies? There really is something about seeing things on paper. There was something that was so much fun. You get that big giant toy catalog and you get your marker and you just start circling stuff that looks cool. Oh man, it's the whole thing is, as a kid today, things are strange. Not only do you not get those catalogs with all the toys in it, you're not really watching commercials either. It's rare that we're watching something that has toy commercials in it that my kids get to see. Like if we watch, I think Paw Patrol is one of the only things that we watch that we go to the Spectrum on demand in the app, and in there's commercials. So she has to sit through those commercials, and they're all toys, and she loves it. But whereas that's all we were watching is just commercials after commercials, and you'd see stuff that you wanted, and that's how you made your list. But and Julia apologizes for bouncing between Facebook and YouTube. It doesn't matter to me. It's all popping up on the same screen. Marco says, been there, done that, and he can tell me it was not magical. The Disney, I guess. Yeah, we had, this has been a few years, obviously, but we had plans to go to Disney before we had kids. We were going to go with a bunch of family members, some that had kids, and we were just, two adults with, decent jobs, normal lives, no real responsibilities, and it would have been the best vacation ever. And everybody else ended up deciding they wanted to wait till their kids were a little bit older, and so we didn't go, and we still haven't been. I've never been to Disney, so yeah, it would have been fun to get to go before kids and then also after kids, but it is not to be. But I will tell you, we are almost at an hour for this show, which is way longer than it's supposed to be, so we need to start wrapping it up. However, if you want to go back and listen more, you can listen to the replay on YouTube. There will be an episode of Prost this week. No Brewcast, because that would have been up today, but there will be one next week. Well, I shouldn't say their guarantee. I do not have anything booked for next week right now. So if anybody is on here that wants to sit and talk beer via Zoom, shoot me an email or a message somewhere, and maybe we can do it. Maybe we'll have you on the show. That's all I got for you. Julia says she never had the desire to go to Disney. My mom even asked my sister and I if we wanted to go. Neither of us did. I think Mom was secretly relieved. The thing is, I definitely want to go, but it is so freaking expensive that it makes me not want to go. Especially now with all the Star Wars crap that they got down there. It would be fun. Do you see pictures of that hotel? That looks like it would be a blast. So yeah, I do. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Please, everybody stay healthy. Wear a mask, for the love of God. If you go out in public, wear a mask. It's not for you. It's for everybody else. And I can tell you, COVID is it's miserable sometimes, especially when you have children and work and lives and everything. It sucks. So do your best to help your friends and neighbors and family and everything, because we got to get through this at some point. I need to go out and have a beer somewhere. Yeah, we'll get through this. We'll be through it by Christmas. That's what I'm saying. So I'm sticking to it. We'll survive, guys. I've got some fun stuff coming up on the blog too, so stick around and pay attention to that, because there's lots of fun local news. Did you guys see Cincinnati Distilling Company? Just Cincinnati Distillery. What are they calling it? Cincinnati Distilling. There's a story there. I have to figure out a way to tell the story is what I gotta do, because it's fun. I love it. I love all of this. Yeah, everybody stay safe. Thank you very much. We'll be back next week to do this again, right here. Same bat channel. Thanks, guys.